Finally, one bishop, Anthony Muheria, had the voice of the bold. I have been insisting that what UD is doing are just political campaigns disguised as Thanksgiving. Now, I wanted to look at the message of Bishop Anthony Muheria, the Catholic-based, Nyeri-based Catholic bishop. We want to appreciate the new administration for acknowledging the place of God and the church in its establishment. However, the government must also understand that there is time for everything. This is time to work, not to dwell on political events disguised as Thanksgiving services. I don't know. For those people who've been following the bold, I have been consistently saying that nothing like prayers here. It has nothing to do with God. It is purely a mobilization scheme to talk to people and continue campaigning. What has only changed is the location. Before the election, it was being done at deputy president's residence. Now, when the established came in, they tried State House, but again, Kenyans said no, that is not a place for this, because it's a place that should, it's a symbol of unity. If it is normally what is those prayers, then someone was asking, why didn't you also join Muslims on Friday? Every Friday, so that you will also be changing mosques, because God see etiakotu kwa Christians. You know, they are also the same God. You should also be going to mosques. I know, and even that place, by the way, uko wezi politic, uko wezi. Is the church finally regaining its place? I criticized the move to go to fund the prayer rally in Nakuru, and it was supposed to be a rally. In fact, it became a rally, because we cannot go to pray about economy. We must just work. As much as God, we're praying, but we must just get the right policies. Alcohol, drug abuse, it cannot be fixed by prayers. If it will be simplistic as that, so if they don't work, if things don't get right, are we going to say that God did not answer our prayers? I don't want to dive deep into that. Listen to how Rigathi made a very ridiculous statement about, I don't know, I might be the only one finding Rigathi's speech is a bit shallow.
In 2017, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta and yourself went to Nakuru and prayed to God for victory. And the two of you made a commitment that if God is gracious to give you victory, you shall come back to Nakuru. That never happened. After March 9, when that Mzee came into government, he convinced our retired president that prayers are no longer necessary. We tried to ask him, we go back to Nakuru to honor the promise to go to say thank you, and he could not hear. The country faced unprecedented problems after we cheated God that we will go to say thank you. The country got into economic crisis. Businesses were destroyed. People's goods were torched. Women were evicted at night during COVID. Brother turned against brother.
Now, that line of thanking God, I thank people. If thanking God, unaweza kaa tu kwa ofisi na uombe na ushukuru Mungu. But again, you have to talk to Kenyans. Now, I want us to do a deep interpretation of the statement from Anthony Muheria. Before that, I am pinning my number here, just making a request. I have some urgent medical bill, a bit overwhelmed, with a deficit of only around 50,000, someone close to my family, close family member. So I'm reaching out to you with the little you can get. Tusaidiane, najua we've always helped other people, but I'm also a human being. And as little as what you can get, I will highly appreciate. The number is up there. 0710 62 78 89. And I believe that God will take us through. Behind the brave face, there is also humanity. Now, it's the church regaining its space. Yes. I want to do an interpretation of this. Anthony Muheria is from Nyeri. Actually, he's based in Nyeri, and was a very close. He was very close to President Uhuru, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the same former President Uhuru Kenyatta was actually a Catholic. I think Kenyans need to be told. At one point, someone was saying, there's a clip I played here of one of the bishops saying that Catholic has produced Kenyan president, both Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta, and they never bragged about it. In fact, they were coming out and opposing the president when things were not right. But here is also what has been done. The Moi was from Inland African Inland Church. If successfully the church voice will emerge and it regains its neutrality and conscience, then that will spell a doom, because it will dismantle the religious consolidation of the masses. What we have to say and agree with, that what is packaged as praying for the country, or rather praying for different things, economy here and there, is a script to whip emotions and consolidate the masses around the religion ideology, because it has worked in the past successfully. When President projected, the deputy president, but then projected himself before the church as a man who was oppressed, the people looked down and really sympathized with him. But even after getting power, it has to be a sustained strategy, because you want to just bring people to create a blind following, that at the end of the day, Kenyans will be brainwashed, and they will have, you'll see people arguing that what we are going through here is an answered prayer, that maybe our prayers are not answered. This is a demographic that is going to be created just to distract the political order, or rather to make sure that we create an element of conformity, because the clergy will comfortably defend government on behalf in these churches without asking a question, or rather even challenging what's going on. That is why I can tell you that in the pulpit, in rallies, it's different. In rallies, utaongea tu Kenya taona, but people take it and other people question like hii kitu tunasema ni uongo hivi. But in church, you find a way you package it so that you also have to smear it with some, link it with some very appropriate Bible verses, and so that people feel that's really what's going on. But in real sense, we are creating a blind audience. I'm sorry to say, but in the church, we have a blind audience. All of us are into that order. Secondly, from what Anthony Muheria is saying, I see a strategy, I see something that can expose Rigathi badly. It's exposing Rigathi badly because he has been a strong crusader of those Thanksgiving rallies. And in fact, the point here is clear, that in his quest to overtake, to be Mount Kenya kingpin, he's simply whipping using the church council. In fact, he wants to cement the relationship with the churches, because, that's where the strength is. That's where Rigathi's strength is. Rigathi's strength is not in the traditional team, in the elders of Gikuyu. I don't think he has that space. And mostly also on the warrior. Remember when he went to pray in that mountain. So he wants to whip that. And when the good bishop from Nyeri, where Rigathi comes up, it's simply telling the Mount Kenya church that you guys are not fair to the electorate. And that's what we are saying. that it's not being fair to the electorate. What has been deemed as interdenomination on that, you are just giving a platform for the politician to politic and not to work for the people. So this will be a hit on Rigathi. I see a possibility that the mainstream churches will be breakaway churches from the administration. The mainstream churches are the Catholics and the Anglicans. You need to remember that in the run up to the last general election, there was William Ruto successfully consolidated the religion mass through the evangelicals. The evangelicals are these easy churches, hizi zingine. So that evangelicals was close to the DP's campaign. It was at the core of DP's campaign, and the strategy was to target the women because the church, mostly those who are strong, especially in the mountain, are the women. Someone told me it's the church is the fabric of the society. Single women, widowed, those who are also looking for maybe how to protect their staff, praying for their kids. That's the church. So this actually, the mainstream churches will regain the trust of the population. And if they will successfully regain their neutrality and get their presence, then what are we going to say? They will get back the population. And you will see, initially, someone was telling me that people have been leaving the mainstream churches to go to the evangelicals because huko kwanza utasikia Ruto anakuja. So they are celebrity churches. Ruto is coming there is this money, there is that. So people think that when the political class is there, they're getting money. But as time go, Kenyans are going there, they're getting the messages, but kwa ground vitu ni tofauti. What will it mean? Someone will feel comfortable to go back to the mainstream churches. So that paradigm shift population in the population test of the religion would actually successfully answer the question, or rather dismantle the religion consolidation. It points out that here, someone somewhere is seeing that government is failing or government is not working for the people. That's what we've been saying, that to some extent it is good, and I also appreciate the fact that the KK team are seeing the space of God. That's actually a breakaway from Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta did not have a strong relationship, but he did not do it publicly. In fact, for them, they're doing it publicly. To that publicity of the religion is just to also keep emotions. There are some people that now believe that okay, hey, ni Mungu tu, ndio tu tunasemanga tu kifanya kazi, hata uomba lazima ufanye kazi. So it's true that someone is taking stock that people, instead of working for the population, they are politicking. If Anthony Muheria, we can find many that are going to take stock of that within a span of some 2 years. There will be a public discussion or a public narrative that government has failed. And that will be a ground for the next general election. That's my take, guys. Let's meet in the next analysis. And thank you very much for those who are contributing. I started yesterday. Yesterday was date 5. Is it date 5? Yes. I've got out. I needed 50. I've got 5,300. Thank you. So let's push on maybe 1 week, and I'll be grateful from your end.